With all of the negative headlines dominating the news these days, it can be difficult to spot signs of progress. What makes you optimistic about the future? The plummeting price of solar and wind energy. Edit, thanks for the gold. I will be investing it in solar. I mean, I haven't heard much about ISIS recently. That's gotta be a good sign. That we're almost at the point where we get artificial organs. I could use a kidney. Edit, guys, thanks a lot for your support, understanding, and most of all the selfless offers you've made, Bellate a kidney or info. I love you all. Edit 2, I wish I could share some resources on how to be a living donor. If someone could help me in that front so I could share it here. I'm not from the States and I don't know where to start. This is the most humbling experience I've had on Reddit yet. Edit 3, thanks to /u/Ragnaruckus for this resource on living donation and to /u/Tambourine Time for this other resource. Please, if you're thinking of donating, have a look at these resources. The possible return of the American chestnut tree. Fast-growing, rot-resistant and, perhaps most important, it produces enough calories from the nuts to feed a population. Edit, it turned out that someone from WBUR in Boston saw the interest in this post and wrote an article and made a podcast about it. It's very good. That old chestnut. 1. Since 1990 the number of children who die before their 5th birthday has been cut in half, saving 122 million young lives. 2. In the same period, the fraction of people living in extreme poverty has gone from 1/3 to 1/10. 3. More than 90% of children now attend primary school worldwide. 4. Women now make up more than 1/5 of members of parliaments around the world. 5. Workplace and road safety in the US has risen dramatically since our grandparents' time. Edit, I stole these from this article entitled, Bill Gates, Here are 5 Reasons to be Optimistic About 2018. This has probably been my finest moment this year. All 7 of my honeybee colonies are currently surviving the winter, and today they're bringing in the first pollen of the year. Edit, also, please support native bees, for why and how at home, check out, Bringing Nature Home by Douglas Tallamy, as well as asterisk butterflies like the monarch and bats. Advancements in medicine and gene therapy. The CRISPR technology has me very excited. Also, the James Webb Space Telescope is going to bring about many new discoveries. I'm reminded of Sam's speech to Frodo in Osgiliath in the Two Towers. It's like in the great stories, Mr. Ones that really mattered. Full of darkness and danger they were, and sometimes you didn't want to know the end. Because how could the end be happy? How could the world go back to the way it was when so much bad had happened? But in the end, it's only a passing thing, this shadow. Even darkness must pass. A new day will come. And when the sun shines it will shine out the clearer. Those were the stories that stayed with you, that meant something, even if you were too small to understand why. Folk in those stories had lots of chances of turning back, only they didn't. Because they were holding on to there's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo. And it's worth fighting for. Advancements in health studies and science for health has improved living conditions tenfold and continue to do so. So that makes me pretty optimistic. Mental illness awareness is growing rapidly, and people are more and more willing to assist those in need. I'm going to nursing school, and every time I hear about the advances in the medical field I get excited. Japan just approved a medicine that they claim can cure the flu in one day. The merging of medicine and technology is extremely fascinating. I saw a video of a prototype that was virtual scan of someone's body, inside and out. You could remove organs and see what was under them. If that can catch on, it will dramatically help surgeons plan for more successful outcomes. Edit to add video of scanner and link for flu drug. I quit smoking today. Hi Bill. I think we're making great progress with renewable energy and am hopeful that my children's generation will have a chance to fix the mess we made. Shared collaborative projects like Wikipedia proving that people are inherently good. As someone with mental health issues, I love that the field is getting more attention and there's becoming less of a stigma of having a mental illness, smiley face. The increasing easiness of traveling anywhere in the world. Edit, this is what I'm looking forward to. Also, nice optimism you got there, you Reddit bastards. Space. So much is unknown right now. Excited to see what can come in the future. There's still people like you that donates like half of their money every year, or whatever. Right facing fist happy face bomb. The good news is often quiet and subtle. The bad news is always loud. I try to remember that. People here are talking about cancer cure here. Stanford Medicine made the biggest breakthrough in history just last month. They cured 90 out of 90 infected mice with different kinds of cancers with just one shot of medicine. That every day millions of people go to work in order to provide for their families, come home, talk about inane things, etc. The world over consists mostly of people with similar wants and similar needs no matter from where they hail or what they look like, and the vast majority of the time it just works. One tiny lapse in coordination and it could all come crumbling down, but mostly the world marches on. It's a brilliant blue ball of common humanity, and it pays to remember sometimes that for all that's horrible in the world, we're surrounded by a lot of good. SpaceX. My dog, mainly. I am optimistic that the younger generation is more progressive than my father's was. Solar energy plus desalination plus gene therapy. People are beginning to realize that things don't change on their own. More people are taking action to help out and change the world as a whole. The fact that humanity is getting another mini space race going on. I'd love to see a man set foot on Mars in my lifetime. That, and of course just getting to spend time with all my friends to play Dungeons and Dragons every week. Edit, I'm fine with my top comment being about D&D and do D&D in space blah. Reruns of Bob Ross and Mr. Rogers. Understanding of history. We are at a certain point in time, during which we are well aware of what happened in the past. This is a newly available, highly useful feature of our generation. Hopefully it lasts. Censorship. Bee population is on the rise. If we could work together to save the bees, we can deal with climate change. My students. They handle a complex, globally interconnected society in ways my generation, undergraduate at university in the 1970s, couldn't hold a candle to. Any color, any sexual orientation, any disability, any all good, so long as they're not an asshole. We may be approximating Dr. Martin Luther King's hope for a world where people are judged by the content of their character rather than the color of their skin. As someone who has lost loved ones to cancer, your work, giving away so much money is truly commendable, and I thank you for it. The better angels of our nature. And the fact a billionaire has a platform to communicate 1v1 with everyday people. Thank you, Reddit. r/uplifting news exists, and it still gets content. We should be circulating good news rather than constantly refreshing bad news. The growing acceptance of people who are different. It might be a long, slow battle, but we are moving in the right direction. This is the most peaceful time in human history. And it is getting better. RuneScape Mobile. Most countries are steadily but surely moving upwards on the Human Development Index. This change isn't very noticeable on a day-to-day basis, but over the course of decades the world is empirically becoming a better place. Not just in Western Europe, or in the prosperous bits of China, but in places like sub-Saharan Africa which are throwing aside the historical weight of colonialism, civil war, dictatorships and genocides to become better places for people to live out their lives. The fact we still are allowed to have negative headlines. The constant technological advancement we're seeing right now, especially in fields like medicine.